was required to be submitted as part of the final development process. It was not something that they did to go above and beyond. They didn't go above and beyond. As a matter of fact, the geotechnical report that they have submitted doesn't address the plan that you're being asked to approve, and doesn't include a slope stability study, as was just explained. The next witness that is going to testify is Joe Vitucci. He will confirm his name, and his address is 161 St. Anne's Avenue.
I'm Joe Bertucci. I live at 161 St. Anne's, which is lot 89. Bought the house in August of 23. We didn't start building until about 14, 15 months later. On the signed contract, there was a tendency that our realtor put in the contract, and it said the seller to bear the cost of peering. Now, before that, John had another geotech report done, and it was given to him in 2001. I bought the house with the lot in 2003. That geotech report pointed out problems with the soil stability on lots 87 through 89 and 99 through 101. Like I said, on lot 89. The slope on my lot was 1-to-1, one vertical with one horizontal, or two vertical to one horizontal. And the report made mention that if they do not extend the footers 10 to 20 feet out, then the grade needs to be one vertical to three horizontal, on the south side of the house. And that was never done. And we, as far as I know, well, John never mentioned the report to me. I didn't know the report existed, and I know my builder didn't know the report existed, so we built the house. Okay, so the house was built, we moved in July 2005. The basement slab was cut from east to west to reduce the stress on it, over time, prevent the floor from cracking in different areas and stuff like that. Initially, after about, I'll say 5 or 6 years, we were thinking about getting the basement refinished. The cut had widened, most notably toward the center of the basement, toward the west. That's the west end of the crack, or of the cut. And you can see there's an additional crack there right now. And that crack is about 14 inches long. Okay, but the cut did widen. At the time, we talked to our builder if that was something significant, the crack widening that we had to worry about, the cut widening. The crack wasn't there yet. The builder said, I wouldn't be concerned with that, just put in some back around, okay? And so we did that. And a year later, roughly, we had a contractor look at the basement, finish the basement. We have a bar, part of it's over that cut. We have a sink area, part of it's over the cut. We have some tile that's over the cut, tiles in a couple other places. Most of the basement is carpeted. There's a couple storage areas where that cut is exposed. The one storage area, the cut is behind the furnace, so we don't see that a lot. But with the reports that we had from our builder and from our contractor, it didn't seem like it was that much of a problem. Recently, well, let me go back a little bit. Our sanitary line disconnected from the house, and we had to obviously get that fixed as soon as possible. It happened on a Friday, I think, and the only person that we could get a hold of that could come out to the house right away was Roto-Rooter. And it's not an economical solution to any problem, but they were able to get the pipe connected quickly and things were back to normal. We asked them what caused the problem, and they said, well, the soil's dropped outside the house. And there's nothing supporting the pipe as it goes across the yard, so you've got some soil and you got a rock pathway on top of that pipe until the pipe starts going downhill toward the sewer line. 3 years later, I think it was, it disconnected again. This time we had Robert Jones Plumbing come out and take a look, and I said, what caused it? You just had this fixed a couple years ago. He said, well, the soil's dropping behind the house and the pipe isn't supported. So this time, he built a support for the pipe about halfway to the spot where it starts going downhill. And we haven't had any problems with it since, knock on wood. However, is the soil still dropping? Why is the soil dropping? Soil's not stable. The sewer connections where I live, there's a manhole cover in the back of the yard, and both of my neighbors, as well as myself, are connected at that point. One of the neighbors' sewer lines has clogged up. I think it was around 2016. And of course, we called MSD, they take a look, they tell you what needs to be done, and it's got to be fixed, as quickly as possible because of the sewage. They found out that the pipe had pancaked. Well, how does a pipe pancake? There's a lot of pressure on those pipes. The guy, he didn't say much about what caused it at the time. Most recently, it pancaked again about 3 weeks ago. And so there was a lot of snow on the ground, it's been very cold, so it didn't get fixed till this week, but it wasn't clogged, the pipe pancaked again. And the people that we had, or my neighbor had, he is to pay for it because it's his sewer line. He got Cannoli and Son to get the fix, and Kaufmeyer to do the plumbing work. And both of them said, well, around here the soil moves a lot, and that's what looks like the problem is here. The soil's moving. So this time when they fixed it, they added a lot of pea gravel so that there's cushioning around that pipe. And as the soil moves, the pea gravel can kind of cushion it to a certain extent. About 3 weeks ago now, we heard some loud noises in the basement during the evening. And we thought, what fell off the walls? Looked all around the house, couldn't find anything. Went to the basement, everything was okay down there also. 3 nights later, I went down the basement again. I was over by the bar, and I noticed that there's cracks in the tile floor. None of them are loose. You can see the cracks there. None of the tiles are loose, but the only thing that I can see that made that noise was these tiles cracking. And so we waited till Monday to call some of these companies that can look at basements, fix foundation problems, whatever, get some estimates. So the first one that we called in was Ohio Basement Authority, and they came out right away on that Monday. They used laser leveling to look at the tilt of the house and everything else, and they found that as you look at the house from the back, the left side of it was a little bit lower than the right side. And they said, well, that could be the cause of the problem. Now, the crack that you see on the west side of the house here, this had occurred a couple years ago, and it also occurred on the inside, but there wasn't any leakage that was coming in the house, and that's the west side of the house, so that gets the rainfall more than any other sides of the house do. There's never any leakage, so that really hasn't caused the problem. And the laser that they used didn't show that there was any problem with the walls on the front or on the sides, just on the back. Next day, we had another company come out, AccuLevel. They did the same kind of analysis where they're with their own laser equipment. The measurements were very similar. The fixes from both companies were very similar in that you're going to have to pier the back of the house. Now, if you remember, John signed a contract, initialed that contingency that said peering will be done by the seller. The seller bears the cost. So this is going to happen, you know, we're on our schedule by the end of March. We're having this done. We're not really seeing any problems with the house, but we're having it done because we know we've got a problem. The foundation needs to be stabilized so that we can, when we sell it eventually, we can sell it honestly. We don't want to burn anybody. About the only other thing, the geotech report that I saw was from 2001, and published in 2003. The borings that he did were from 2001, and those readings can change over time. They don't stay stagnant according to this report. The only other thing I can say is you can see the cost there. This was for the fix. After we, you know, pay that amount, get it fixed, we're gonna have to wait a while and see if it really does fix it, if things are stabilized, or if we've gotta go ahead and do something else. Hopefully not, but, you know, we don't know. We've had the ground moving around, our sanitary pipe disconnected twice, one of my neighbors pancaked twice, so we don't know at this point. But based on the fact that John initialed the contract and didn't give me a copy of it or let me know of it, I don't trust that guy. Is he an honest man? Any questions?